Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. In this series of videos we are going to take a look into what is coming your way for the end of 2023. You can watch this video anytime from the release date to the very end of the year. There will be a total of 12 videos, one for each zodiac sign. I suggest that you watch for your rising, sun, and moon sign. Keep in mind that the messages I receive in these readings are general, so apply them accordingly to your life. All of my readings are audio recorded, and photos of the spread will appear on the screen as we progress through the reading. The format for the readings will go as follows. I will start each reading by taking a look at the current energies that you may be experiencing at the time you are watching this video. Next, I'll take a look at what is coming your way for the end of the year and what you could expect to occur during these last few months. After that, we'll get some advice from your spirit guides and see what they would like for you to know going into 2024. Then I'll pull an oracle card that will tie together the reading for you. The oracle will basically highlight the overall outcome of the year. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. Blessings, Leo, and welcome to your year-end tarot reading. This is good for Leo, rising, sun, and or moon signs, so be sure to watch for all three placements to get the most out of these readings. If you would like to book a private tarot reading with me, I have readings available on my Etsy shop. You can find a link for that in the description. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to take a look at the current energies. Then we'll look at what you could expect to come up here at the end of 2023. And then we'll get some advice from your spirit guides and pull an oracle card at the very end. Timestamps are in the description, so if you want to skip ahead to a particular area, you may do so. Today I am using the Albano Waite Tarot deck and the Urban Crow Oracle. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck and we'll see what we get. Okay, so for current energies, we got the Eight of Pentacles reverse, the Emperor, and Knight of Swords. So this is quite interesting because the Eight of Pentacles talks about a lack of ambition. It could also speak about laziness and just being very laid back and kind of nonchalant. So you're probably experiencing at this current time a lack of motivation, maybe even a lack of discipline for some of you. So maybe some of you are procrastinating and, taking your time. And so I don't know if this is good or bad necessarily. I mean, this could just be a phase that you're going through, and maybe you're needing to take this time away, time off, time down energy. I feel like you're just, for a lot of you, it seems like you guys have gone more internal. I'm getting a lot of introverted energy. And, generally speaking, Leo isn't an introverted sign by any means. And that's not to say that there aren't any introverted Leos, but if anything, it just feels like you guys are kind of just, I'm hearing, just being a wallflower. You're not really interested in much of anything. Nothing's really motivating you. You don't really want to partake in anything. You kind of just want to kick back. So I could see this as a need for you guys to rest and rejuvenate. Although the rest of the cards don't really speak about rest and rejuvenation. Perhaps this is a very minor phase, this Eight of Pentacles in reverse energy, to where this lack of motivation and lack of wanting to do something is very temporary, and it could even just be planned. So maybe you guys are even on vacation or between jobs. Either way, I feel that this energy of sitting by and kicking back and kind of just like letting everyone else around you do all the work, I feel it's very temporary and that you know that already. And then the Emperor comes in, and I feel like this is your goal. Like, you guys, that's what I'm getting. Like, there, you guys have this goal you're really wanting to achieve. And I feel for the most part, because we have the Knight of Swords, you guys have made steps to get to that goal. Like, the Emperor to me here is the end game. This is your end goal. I feel at this time you guys are having to deal with a lot of mental anxiety, a lot of mental anguish. I feel that perhaps there was a recent ending in some area of your life. And so you're like in the in-between phases here. And I definitely feel that at the start of this reading, it's like you're kind of just in limbo, really. But your mind is still very active. So it may look like you're not doing much, but you're doing the most in your mind. Like you've got plans. This like stationary energy that you're in right now is just a way for you to realign and to examine your thoughts and your mind and your goals. I'm hearing like evaluate and a lot of evaluation. So it's pretty good because you guys still seem pretty active overall. Work looks active. Everything looks pretty busy in your life, especially in anything that has to deal with socializing. So work, career, school, just hanging out with friends, being around people in general, especially people who aren't necessarily family or related to you. I feel that you're still like very active in that sense. For some of you, I do feel that you're feeling pretty down. Maybe you're dealing with some depression. But at the same time, like, I feel like you guys know, or you're well aware of what it is you're going through, even if you may not understand it, or maybe you don't know why per se. Although I do feel that there are others of you who do know why. Like, this is a calculated thing. Either way, you're just looking to find solutions, and you're starting, if it's like you're churning towards yourself for those solutions. The Emperor is a pretty strong card, and it's because it's sitting in the middle, and the Nine of Swords is heading towards the Emperor. It's like you guys have such high expectations of yourself, maybe even like high standards, high morals. You guys you understand and you know yourself. And so it's like, we're in Scorpio season, so we are going through everything related to Scorpio. And at least at the time that I'm recording this video, of course, you could be watching this later on in Sagittarius or even Capricorn season. But as I'm recording this, it's Scorpio season, and this is a time for us to really look within and to purge and cleanse ourselves and really take a good hard look at who we are, and then get rid of the things we don't like and then improve the things we do like. And so I feel like, if anything, that's where a lot of this like lack of motivation is coming from. And I feel like the lack of motivation is just like a lack of like outwardly motivation. Like, you're not too concerned with the material world at this time, in the sense of your place within it. You're not really interested in playing the game. You're more focused on yourself and your long-term goals. The Knight of Swords could also be a messenger, so you could be receiving some important news very soon. And it has a lot to do with the air element and with Aquarius energy. So this could be news from an Aquarius, someone who has Aquarius rising, sun, or moon, or it could be related to Aquarian themes. So I would say immediately what's coming to mind are politics, networking, job placement, and self-identifying, like identifying yourself outside of society's expectations or like even stereotypes. Some of you may be interested in changing your look, or you recently did change your look. Overall, I do feel like the self-improvement that you're working on right now does have a lot to do with external appearances and external affairs. So it does have a lot to do with your place in the world because, you know, we have the emperor and he's responsible for his kingdom and the people within it and the resources within it. I feel like you're grounding your approach and you're standing firm on your decisions right now. And I'm really drawn to the imagery of him sitting on a stone chair. It's like you're not moving. Whatever decisions you make at this time, like you're not budging. You've made up your mind, you've made up your decisions. You're not turning back. You know, this is Aries energy. It definitely has nothing to do with turning back. So again, earlier I mentioned that there may have been a recent ending in your life. And so I feel like whatever that ending was that was major for you, I think it ended for good. It's not coming back. Or at least if it does come back, you're not interested. Like you're not going back. You've already moved on. And you made your decision pretty quickly as far as like moving on. So the situation you were dealing with, maybe it had unfolded over time. So if this was like a job or a relationship, maybe you were planning on quitting or breaking up in this relationship for some time. And then it recently happened. And like after it happened, you were quick to get over it. So maybe for a couple months, years, or however long it may have been, like it was something that you really were like struggling with and questioning. But now that it's over with, like you're like, okay, my vision is clear. I know what I want and I'm not turning back. And so I also feel like that's contributing to like your high expectations and your high standards at this time. And it's not so much that like maybe you were settling in your job or relationship. It's just you have a new vision. You have a new set of eyes now, a new mindset. And you're definitely over the past and you're over that old version of yourself. So there's a lot of renewal here. And with renewal, there's a lot of evaluation. And so it is a good time to really sit back then if that's the case. So don't worry if you feel like you're lacking or you have to always be like hustling or anything, because you don't. I feel like if you're good, if you're stable, if you know you got food in the fridge, like you could take a break for now or a vacation. So if you're able to take vacation at this time, definitely go for it. At least request it. So I guess like if you can't take a vacation anytime soon, like within the next few months, now would be a good time to at least request those days off. You definitely want some time off. And the Emperor in Aries is masculine energy. And so you're embodying your masculinity at this time. You're also seeking out I guess, it's like you're seeking out the leadership of masculine energy. You may even be spending more time with masculines in your life, especially with your father or a father figure, somebody that you look up to, somebody who looks out for you as well. There's a lot of independence here at this time, so you're really standing alone, but you're comfortable. I feel like you're pretty comfortable here because you're beginning a new chapter. I think the uncomfortability has to do with like maybe your lack of motivation or just a lack of energy. Like you just, let's say you used to always go out on the weekends and lately you just like, you don't even want to like get out of bed. And so like, you don't have to be depressed to feel that way. I think this like lack of energy and interest is a way for your guides in the universe to basically like let you rest, because I feel for the most part you guys haven't rested in quite some time. Okay, so that's the current energies. Let's go ahead and see what you could expect here at the end of 2023. Okay, so for what you could expect, we got the Moon, Queen of Wands, the Magician, and Justice. And so with the Moon card, this can bring about a lot of confusion. So I feel like this little phase you're currently going through as you're watching this, where I speak about like a lack of interest in the material world, or just a lack of interest in things you maybe used to have all the interest in. I feel like it's a phase that will reoccur time and time again. But it's like really temporary, and I feel it has a lot to do with the moon's transits. So I would suggest keeping track of which days the moon is transiting your sign, especially if you're a Leo moon. You want to look ahead and see which days the moon will be in Leo, and just like observe yourself over this. It's like 2.5 days long. You want to observe yourself and like see how you're feeling, because that could be a time when you feel like you're lowest and depleted of energy. Another place for you to look is your Chiron placement and whichever sign Chiron is in your birth chart. So if you are depressed and you are struggling with something, especially something painful, you want to keep track of when the moon is in the same sign as your Chiron, and especially around the time that the moon is touching Chiron, so within a conjunction, because that could bring about old wounds, and it could be, those 2.5 days could be a time when you're just not feeling it. And so you'll be able to better plan ahead by doing that. So if so let's say you have Chiron and Gemini, and you track the moon and see, okay, like this weekend, for example, it's not going to happen this weekend, but like, for example, this weekend you have, or the moon is going to be in Gemini. So it may not be a good time to go out that weekend. Maybe you want to, take a step back and like chill out and avoid anything that, is going to trigger you. Look at it as like a self-care kind of thing. So these are like days when you want to do self-care. Whenever the moon is in Leo, and then whenever the moon is in the sign of your Chiron. Now we got the Queen of Wands. And I really like that because I feel like, first of all, we have the Emperor and the Queen of Wands, and they are both represented by Aries. And it's the masculine and the feminine. And so there is a balance here. I feel like later on in the year, you'll really be able to tap into the Queen of Wands energy. You'll be able to especially tap into the feminine energy. So you'll likely be able to soften up, down your walls, just kind of like chill out a little bit, in the sense of like, you don't need to be in this masculine, like fight kind of energy that the Emperor is in. You could feel a little more safe and secure and, get out of that survival mode here towards the end of the year. I still see a lot of like social activity. And so if anything, I feel like you'll have more people over at your place, or the home front will be a lot more busier. There's a lot of socializing happening there. And it is a holiday season, so maybe you'll have guests over for the holidays. Or maybe just because of the holidays, there's just a lot more activity going on within the home. I still feel like you'll be stepping into your power more and more. Although you'll have those phases, like, again, like perhaps during specific moon transits, where you're just going to feel this Eight of Pentacles energy, where you just like don't care. I still feel like it's not going to completely knock you off guard. Like, it's not going to take you out for weeks or anything. It's just a couple days here and there. And you're still more concerned about your goals and their personal goals. They have a lot to do with self-improvement and with growth. Less to do with anything external. So it's not so much about like external validation or accomplishments, although your goals can have a lot of external accomplishments. So like, for example, let's say you want to get your bachelor's degree. Like, that's a very external thing, but for you, it's like, it's still personal in the sense that it benefits you in the long term because it helps you grow. So it's more like you're focused on that aspect. It's more the internal, like how you're more concerned with what it is going to do for you versus what it does for like your future career, in a sense, if that makes any sense, And we have the Magician, and so this is going to be a good time here for you guys to really manifest and to alchemize and to really bring things into perspective, bring things to a full, complete circle. You're going to go through repeated cycles, and it might drive you a little crazy, but these cycles are going to help you prepare for what's to come. I feel like summer 2024 is going to be pretty major for you guys. And so right now you might notice some patterns happening. Like you might have to, it's almost like retrograde energy. Like I feel like you're going to accomplish something and then you're going to have to like go back and double check it like after it's been accomplished. And it's going to repeat. It's going to be, you know, in cycles, and you know, it might feel like you're not getting anywhere, but you are. It's just, it's like you're perfecting this, because the 8 of Pentacles upright has a lot to do with perfecting things and to really apply yourself. And so the Magician is here to help you, like basically bring the 8 of Pentacles in reverse back into the upright position for you. And so you're going to have to keep repeating and doing these like Mercury retrograde type things where you have to like go back and double check because there was a mistake, and you know, how could you, right? Like silly me, you know, I should have known better. But it's fine. It's not even like that. Like you just, I guess it's like practice makes perfect. So look at it like that way. It's really about practicing and perfecting that and getting used to it. So whatever it is that you go through that you find yourself like repeating or like experiencing over and over again here at the end of the year, it's a way for you to like get used to it, to where it's like it comes natural to you. You know, you practice it and you repeat it over and over until you like it becomes part of you. Like it's just automatic. And then we have the Justice card. So things are going to move in your favor for as long as it is rightfully so. So as long as you're playing your cards right and you're, you know, not cheating or doing nefarious things, the Justice is here to guide you and help you propel and move forward. I really feel right now it's connected to the Emperor card in the sense that you will prevail, and you know, and justice will be served. And so if you are dealing with legal issues, then the Justice is here to say that it'll go in your favor. But also anything that you've just been working on, anything that is, you know, you find purpose in, even, or just anything that's really honestly just karmic, something that's owed to you, the Justice is here to give you that, to give you what's owed, and to help you get to the Emperor energy without, for a lack of words, I can't think of right now. Like, let's just say, as long as you do everything correctly, then you'll rightfully earn your place as the Emperor, as the Queen of Wands. And so the Magician could be tricky because, you know, it does deal with magic and manifesting. And if you're familiar with witchcraft and the tenfold rule with witches, you know, what you do comes back to you tenfold. And so, yeah, like whatever you're going to put out, you expect to receive it. So if you're putting out good, bad things, like negative things, you're going to find yourself in a cycle of that. But if you're putting out good things and more positive things, things that benefit you and doesn't hurt anybody else, then you're going to receive more of that. What you put out is what's going to come in, and what comes in is what should get put back out. So whatever you receive, you want to be able to give it back. It's like, I'm like hearing like paying it forward. That's the kind of energy you want to do. And I apologize if I'm like all over the place. So maybe you guys are all over the place. And I am having a hard time like finding the right words right now. And so I'm taking that as a sign, as like this limbo phase you're in can be confusing. And then the Moon card can talk about confusion and illusions and seeing things that aren't there kind of energy, you know, or believing things that aren't true, you know, and it can be a little confusing. Maybe you're questioning your beliefs. Maybe you're questioning your path in life. Maybe some of you are having like a midlife crisis or something, to where it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know what I want to do anymore. At the same time, like you're sticking to your decisions, you're sticking to your guns. Like So regardless of whatever you are doing, and like you feel confident in that decision, like it's still, there's still an aspect of yourself that's confusing you. You're kind of just in the it's almost like blind faith, I guess. It's like you're trusting the decisions you're making because you're making them from like an intuitive place, from like a very confident, head on your shoulders kind of place. But at the same time, like you're still very unsure because you don't know where this is going to take you. You don't know where the path is going to take you. Although you have like you expect an outcome. So if this is related to goals, like you expect an outcome from that goal, but you're just not sure how you're going to get there. You're not sure if it's going to work out, but like there's something within you that's like driving you to do it anyways. You know, that blind faith where, but not blind faith in, I know that's probably not the right phrase I'm using. Like the true meaning of that is probably nothing like what I'm thinking right now. It's just like, it's, you're just trusting in something that you feel is going to work out for you, even though you don't know how it's going to work out. So that's what I mean when I'm saying blind faith. Like you're going in blind. It's really foggy. Like you don't really know, but you do know. Like you just can't see it. So you are being like divinely guided. I'm also getting that you want to wait for the invite. So you want to wait for invitation. I don't really subscribe to the human design thing. Like, so if you're familiar with human design, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But there's like this whole thing called human design, and it's whatever, right? But there's like this profiling they do where there's manifestors and projectors and things like that. And so I'm getting like that projector energy to where projectors are supposed to wait for the invite, and then once they get invited, that is their sign to take initiative. So projectors tend to have a hard time taking initiative right off the jump. They usually have to wait for the invitation, and then when it comes in, that's when they take initiative. But a lot of times projectors, they'll get the invite and then they're expecting another invite and another invite, and then they don't come, and then they lose out because they don't realize that they're supposed to initiate after that. Like once you're in, you're in. And so you want to wait for that, whatever this is. So let's say for example, like you text somebody and they left you on scene or they haven't received it yet. And instead of like texting like, hey, what's up? Or hey, can you get back to me or whatever, you want to wait because it's not time. You want to wait for the right time. But the timing has to do with the energy of being invited, the energy of getting a call back, a text back, that sort of thing. So it doesn't have to be like that specifically, but metaphorically, that's what you want to wait. Or like a sign. So even, let's say you're needing an answer to something. A good thing to do is ask for a sign and just be like, okay, like send me a sign to where I know that it relates to what I'm asking. And then you want to be open to that and wait for that sign to come in. Because then that sign means go. Whatever it is, you'll know like when you see it, like, okay, it's go time. So it could be like a synchronicity. So let's say you have like a favorite number and you see that favorite number somewhere, and you just get like, it's just a number, right? But like something in that moment when you look at that number like hits you. Okay, so it's going to be something like that to where you're going to know. It's not going to be passive at all. So you want to wait for that opportunity. And I also feel like the Justice is going to bring in opportunity for you along with the Knight of Swords. But like the Justice is here to really help you expand and grow and really open the door for you. Okay, so that's basically what I'm getting for what you could expect. I'm being called to end it there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and pull more cards. And we're going to look at what your spirit guides want you to know. So this is advice from your spirit guides, however you may see them. It could even just be advice from the universe itself. It's just it's more like a message that can help you with like decision making and things like that. And just like a reminder or even like confirmation. So this could be something that you already like know, and this message that I'm about to deliver is just confirmation. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle and we're gonna see what we get. Okay, so for advice from your spirit guides, we got the Page of Cups and the Four of Swords. And so right off the bat, your guides want you to know that you don't feel bad about any rest and recovery that you go through. So if you find yourself being like really lazy and you're feeling bad about it, your guides don't want you to do that to yourself. They want you to enjoy that rest. They want you to sit there and you're don't look at it as you're doing nothing, okay? It's more like you're recharging your batteries. You're also like realigning here. I feel like, again, earlier I mentioned things about waiting for the right time. And it's like you need to allow the universe to align itself so it could meet up with you. Because now I'm getting that, like, I feel like you did get like ahead of the curve. Like it's almost like you jumped several months ahead, like within a matter of like weeks, like, or even like overnight. Like you're like 3 steps ahead than everybody right now. And so you got to wait for the rest of the universe to catch up, basically, especially if it involves other people, which, although that's going to be different for everybody, like, so like there could be like new relationships coming in, a new job coming in, meeting new people, or just a new situation is coming in. And so you got to wait for that path to line up, especially if it's another person. You got to wait for them to catch up to where you are. And so your guides want you to know it's okay to rest, and it's okay to, spend a few days doing absolutely nothing. And the Page of Cups is here too. And I was getting something like being like a sponge and absorbing everything. And so with that, you want to be careful when it comes to emotions, because I feel like at this time, at the end of the year, you're going to be more susceptible to like empathy. I'm picking up something like being like an empath. Like you're going to be more susceptible to picking up other people's energies, and it's going to interfere with your own, and it may even cause you to feel like these are your feelings and problems when they're not. And so, and then we do have the Moon card, so that could also speak of the same thing, because this is Pisces energy. So you want to be careful not to at least you want to be careful, and you want to recognize your own feelings from other people's feelings. So especially if you're around other people, you got to recognize like whatever like you feel when you're with them is theirs, and then like when you're not with them and you don't have those feelings, it's good to recognize like, oh, okay, whatever I was feeling earlier with that person was likely their feelings and not mine, because I don't feel that way right now when I'm alone. Also, kids could be important, or younger siblings. There could just be a focus on those two areas. So some of you may be planning on having children, or maybe you're revisiting your inner child, because Cups energy does deal with like a lot of creativity, and it does deal with the past. And so, yeah, there could be a revisiting to something you once enjoyed. Also, just feel like this is a good time to really tap in and tune into your creativity. Even if you already do, like, I feel like if anything, you're going to be really inspired through the arts, through music, through things like poetry. And so if you are struggling with feelings, maybe it would be a good time to like write poetry about your feelings, or to journal, especially if that's not something you regularly do. And if you do that regularly, then I feel like your journaling and your poems are just going to get even more poetic, and just like more like free writing, where it's just going to pour out of you, like you have no control over it. So that would be a good way to release any emotions that you have walled away inside of you. I feel like Scorpio season's going to be a little tough for you guys. And Sagittarius, it might feel the same, although, this will be the holidays. It'll be Thanksgiving and then the beginning of January. And so, or January, the beginning of December. And so you could be easily distracted, but it should keep you busy. You definitely don't want to distract yourself in unhealthy ways. But I would say like Sagittarius season would be a good time for you guys to start coming out of your shell a little bit more and to kind of like let go more. Scorpio season's great for diving deep and getting serious and, looking hard and looking at yourself in the mirror, taking a good hard look at yourself. And then like Sagittarius season, I feel like your guides want you to just like let that go. The arrow of Sagittarius, you want to let it go. You want to aim for your target, aim for where you want to be, especially if you're in a place that you don't want to be in. Turn your focus outwardly in Sagittarius season. So that way by Capricorn season, you should be able to set that foundation, to really plant that seed. Capricorn season is a great time to really build something and to begin something that is long-term or could yield long-term benefits. Okay, so basically that's what I'm getting for the advice from your guides. And so now I'm going to pull an oracle card and we're going to get an overall message. And so basically this card is going to like tie everything in for you and to like summarize everything. So if there's one thing to take away from this reading, this oracle card could be it for you. I will post it on the screen along with the book's description. So go ahead and screenshot that and keep it with you in your phone or on your desktop for the rest of the year. And if you ever need some kind of guidance, you could always refer to the message from this oracle card. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck and then we'll see what we get. Okay, so the oracle card we got for you guys is number 9, communication. And in the book, it says, when I lived in my 3rd floor apartment, one of my neighborhood crows would often come calling on my balcony in the morning. There was one crow in particular that stood out that my daughter and I eventually named Brave One, because he or she would go right up to our sliding glass door and rap a tap-tap impatiently with its beak. This delightfully persistent bird was looking for a handout. Communication brings a message to speak up, state what you want. You may think those around you know your needs and desires, but that may not be the case. Now is the time to articulate your wishes. Communication asks that you get clear on what you want so that there will be no misunderstanding or confusion. Although communication may point to a situation on an earthly level, it may also indicate that you need to be clear with what you want when communicating with your spirit guides or higher self. Are you being too vague? Are you asking for what you want exactly? Okay, so that is your message from the crows. I hope that it serves as a guide for you. And, it's pretty clear, it's just communication. I feel like that word alone is clear, even if it's not something that we're all good at. If anything, I feel that embodying the energy of the Emperor and the Queen of Wands will help you be clear and loud about what it is that you need at this time. And before we go, I have a channeled song for you. So if you're into channeled song or you're just into music in general, then check out the song that I channeled for you. And it is by Destin Conrad. And the song is called In the Air. So I left a link for that song in the description so you can go check it out if you like. And that basically wraps up this reading. If you haven't yet already, please hit the subscribe button, tap the notifications bell, and like this video. By liking this video, you help to push it into the YouTube algorithm for other people to find. Follow my profile on Instagram at Spotless Mind Tarot. Replace the I in mind with the number 1. If you would like to book a private reading with me, my readings are available on my Etsy shop at Kaleidoscope Escape. www.etsy.com. Also, do me a huge favor and drop a comment below. Let me know this reading resonates with you, and also helps me to see who you are and to help me better connect with you. So that way, next time you come back, I know you're here and I can better tap into your energies and give you more direct messages. So thank you so much for watching. I'm very, very grateful for your presence, and I will catch you in the next video.